Alright, hey guys, it's Kingler, or Bingler, whichever works, I go by both. I'm gonna go over the draft that I just finished for the spring fling. I apologize that in advance my allergies are killing me, and I live in the Northeast, so I'm gonna try and keep any kind of sniffling or allergy related noises away from the mic, but there's only so much a guy can do. I do live in the Northeast, and it's the end of May, so it's like prime I'm screwed time. So anyway, let's get into the rules. It's a low tier league, so some higher tier mons, example specifically like Pulp, Palafin, any of those real high end guys, Great Tusk, all of those fun options are probably considered too strong, so they're not going to be available. It's all kind of personal opinion, but if you've been playing draft leagues enough, you kind of understand there's a consensus on what the top tier guys are. So most of those standard guys are gone, and yeah, we won't be drafting any of those. Anyway, we got 95 points to draft 9 to 11 mons, so it's a slightly reduced budget, but that's all good because like I just said, the pool of mons is going to be reduced, so that's about it. Once we took those mons, we will get to choose 2 Terra captains for 6 points each, and we are going to play Terra Preview. All that means is we can pick any type of Terra, we just need to communicate with our opponent before the match what Terra type those mons are holding, so you still have to prep for, everything, but you're not going to know till you get there if you were right or not. Anyway, let's dive into my draft. I got a nice early pick. I picked 2nd overall, and with that 2nd overall pick, I took my dude, Haxorus. So, this is my first low tier league. I really wanted to secure a mon that I feel like is an absolute threat and a game ender, so that's what I did by taking this Haxorus. He's got a nice super chunky attack stat at 147 overall, and he's not that slow with 97 speed. Could be faster, but it's alright. He's got his best ability, honestly in my opinion, is the Mold Breaker. Just lets us ignore enemy mons abilities, so like Levitate, I could still hit with Earthquake, just kind of that's, that mindset, that grind set even. And I just wanted to show like an example set of what you might see out of this guy. He can do obviously some other moves and other things, but for me, a big threat is setup. So Dragon Dance, like with Earthquake, Dragon Claw, CC, Iron Head, he gets Poison Jab. Really just set up and sweep the game, and if not sweep, blow a big enough hole through the enemy team, knock off enough mons to where maybe I can clean it up with the rest of the mons that I have available. So after that, I just wanted to go ahead and kind of fill in some utility for the team. I know I'm only going into the 2nd mon, and I only have 1 pick, but I decided to take kind of the opposite of Haxorus in Tinkaton. It's kind of weird that she also is a Mold Breaker, so I'm 2 for 2, 2 picks, 2 Mold Breakers. But I just wanted to get somebody that could bring some util. Like I said, I put up rocks, knock off items. She gets T-Wave. She can bring Gigaton Hammer, which is a great stab steal move. She's got a decent Spadef stat, good HP stat at 85. And yeah, that was really it for the Tinkaton pick. After that, I did want to secure a little bit of off, and I didn't have any special attack yet, so I decided to pick up my good friend Mr. Blastoise. For me, this mon's here to be a wild card. He can bring util, like I said, with rapid spin. He can flip turn, but he can also threaten to sweep or just win the game with a set like the example set I gave here with Shell Smash. Setup's never good, click that button, then you got ×2 speed, ×2 attack, and he's got Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, Aura Spheres, decent coverage. So if your mons are chipped or your answer for this guy is already dead, Blastoise can end the game. So I just kind of want to bring it as kind of a prep nightmare for the opponent. They might not know what to expect out of this guy, and that's what we're going for. The overall for me next, I was thinking about what I had so far and what would stop mons like Haxorus setup or Blastoise setup from winning the game. And looking around the draft board, the idea for me was, I think prio moves kind of stop setup sometimes. Not stop it, but it's a chance for you to still get out of a bad situation. So I wanted to try my best and stop that. So I went ahead and took Indeedee F. Her ability right there, Psychic Surge, will put up Psychic Turn. Sorry, not Psychic Turn, Psychic Terrain. And while in that terrain, no priority moves will work on mons that are grounded. So flying mons or mons that are levitating could still be hit by something, but in reality I drafted her mostly for that. Not all just for that. She does have good sets, can bring some util. She does have Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Psychic will be boosted in terrain. She can pop a Healing Wish or Baton Pass for momentum, but really it was to help set up my guys here, so it was mostly still util for me, but that's all I really got for Ndidi. She's just a staple to the idea of the current squad, so she made it. Round 5, I wanted to take a mon that I thought would be cool with Terra, so I went ahead and took my goat, aka Wo Chen, and he's going to be one of my Terra captains. He's just here to be an annoying guy. He can change his type, so you know I always have a chance for some outplay. Overall, knock is great. It's very useful in a lower format. Some of these mons that we're going to see on our opponent's teams don't usually get drafted or used in a standard Wi-Fi, Scarlet Violet League, because there's just better mons available, or there's a mon available that has better roll compression. For like example, like instead of needing 2 mons, if you can get 1 higher tier mon that does the job of both, you would just draft that. Like why expand your team when you can just bring 1 mon that does both things? So anyway, some of these guys that we're going to see are going to rely on their items to help make them a little better, because not every mon's that great down here. So knockoff is super important, leech seed super annoying, foul play, we can taunt to stop setup, ruination is always going to drop the HP to half of what it currently is, so it's a good way to chip down some walls. And yeah, he's just here to be a good old annoying slug, aka my goat. So in round 6, I went ahead. So in round 6, I decided to take Chandelure here. This mon is like a great scarfer to me. He can also wear specs, but he's got a real nasty 145 special attack stat. So I really, in my mind, just wanted to kind of use him to break mons down, so he's going to be a breaker and do damage, get guys low so that we have a chance to just end. Or set up once with Dragon Dance or Shell Smash with Blastoise, just kind of make a hole in the team. And also, if you don't have he makes you bring an answer for very spammable moves. Shadow Ball is a great spammable move. Psychic will be boosted in terrain. Flamethrower is a great spammable move. Energy Ball can hit ground types if they want to come in and do that, or water types because he is a fire type. And yeah, he's here to do that. And like I said, he could sweep in theory if I'm wearing a scarf and everything gets low and something happens, but that's not really the idea for me. In round 7, I did, unfortunately, for some of the fans, cave to the pressure. I went out and got Mr. Terrain Abuser himself. I don't know about anyone else that might be watching this video or what they've seen or used of this mon, but from what I've seen, and I started playing drafts probably sometime around 2020, this guy usually comes with some kind of terrain. He's there to do that. He does have some other useful things, like he can defog, and his other ability is Mold Breaker, so he can also for some reason ignore abilities. I have 3 of them, kind of weird. It's like I'm attracted to the ability or something, but for the most part, anytime I've seen this guy or he's been used against me, he comes in a terrain, pops his items or seed, and then goes fast and goes for it. So that's pretty much what he's going to be doing here. That's why his role on my team is Bird. Come in, pop terrain, zoom. That's all we got for Lucha. There's nothing else to really say about this guy. Speed's great outside of the Unburden, so I did like that. Raising my speed tier kind of helped me with some of the guys from not being able to necessarily run Modest. But yeah, he's here. So after that, in round 8, originally I was going to take Torkoal here, but as I was looking at my draft and I plugged it into a planner to see current weaknesses I had, I realized I don't have a ground type yet. Now you can make a lot of team comps work in draft. It doesn't always need to be perfect, but the ground type I should say is like a pillar in draft. There's just way too many fast, strong electric mons to not take a ground type, like to not have one. Like there's just too many mons out there using Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, all that fun whatnot to not have a ground type and have your only option for the ground type be one of your Terra captains. So somehow, by the graces of the Mon RNG gods, Donphan made it to the 8th round. So I picked him up, and he still does good stuff for me. He's got a good attack stat, a good defense stat. He does bring another knockoff to the team. He can click Earthquake. Earthquake super good and super spammable. He does give me an option for another rocker. At the moment I only had Tinkaton up there. And he also brings another rapid spin, so that does take off some of the pressure from Blastoise from wanting to always have that move. Now I have 2. He can spin. That's mostly what he's going to be here to do, but you know, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, after round 8, I was pretty content with what I had made. So I wanted in my last Terra Captain to take a Mon that doesn't get a lot of use, especially in normal standard leagues. And like I said originally, my Donphan was supposed to be Torkoal, so I really wanted to. I took Vileplume, as you can see on the screen, and originally I was cooking up devious ideas. I really wanted to abuse Chlorophyll here and also have Psychic Terrain up and be able to change my type with Terra to get a growth off. So I really wanted this thing to go crazy, like kill leader crazy, but I needed the ground type, so the Sun idea fell off. But I still think I want to use him just because no one ever really sees this Mon get used that much, and I do still think he has value. There's some cool things he can do, but I at the moment couldn't say there's a specific role I want him to fit. But worst comes to worst, he does get Moonblast, so I can always Terra Fairy and spam Moonblast. My only other fairy option is Tinkaton, and that's okay at best, but it's not like offensive, you know. So we're gonna see if we can make it work, and that's really about it. Anyway, I'm gonna, you know, see how it goes with the guys, and that's all I really got. Shout out again to Danny Mac and everyone on his admin team helping him run the league. It should be a lot of fun. And a special shout out to whoever posted this template for the Mons and the draft analysis in the general chat. I am just starting to take my vids a little more seriously. I'm trying to put in a little more work with design, prep, thumbnail, all that, and it's going to take me a while. I'm not very good yet. This video probably won't be that great, but I am very glad that this template was here to use, because I'd love to figure out how to make my own at some point, but definitely not there yet. And yeah, that's it. If you liked the video, please subscribe or leave a like or even a comment, get a conversation going. It'll really help me out. I'm only at like 30 subs, so it's okay. Grow the family slowly. And I should be uploading these battles, I think, like once a week on Saturday at this point for this league, and it should be a lot of fun. I will see you guys later. Bangler out.